So, we have Viking Power. You know anything about the Vikings besides they're a football team in Minnesota? All right, well, we're going to go in and do our reading, but Viking Power is what you want to check out. All right. Taking with the chariot power, the chariot energy, and fast coming action required. So I went a little bit deeper for yesterday's reading, and I got the Eight of Wands energy, which is incoming communication very quickly. Like 1 minute you're sitting there, and the next minute the phone call comes in, and it's your long lost daughter, like what happened to me. And then your life's forever changed because being like 17 years and no communication, and now there's communication, or at least you got to talk to her. That kind of energy where it's 1 minute you're just sitting there, and then the next minute somebody calls you or some kind of communication comes in. Now, you have to keep a high vibe because it's emotional. It's not so much pentacle, it's not so much physical, it's emotional. And we also got the Wands. Okay, and what's fueling the Eight of Wands is the Knight of Cups. So that is love related. And yes, I got that phone call 3 days before her birthday. So I want to shout out to Tasha. I haven't heard from her all week, but we were talking almost every day since probably September 23rd. And it's now October 18th. Not that time matters, because time don't exist, but I'm just putting that out there. Every single thing that is said in a reading is important in my readings. I don't say take what resonates and leave the rest. I don't use that statement in my readings. Everything is important. My guides are trying to tell you something, and my guides are Saint Michael, Jesus, Mary, just to name a few. So, incoming communication that will change your emotional status immediately, and it is Knight of Cups backing the Eight of Wands. So it's about love, it's emotional. And yesterday's was the Chariot. So it's a golden ticket opportunity, but it is a challenge. Okay? So it's a golden ticket opportunity, but it feels like a challenge. Again, I'm getting it feels like a challenge emotionally. And I'm drawn to the teardrops coming off of the cloud. Okay? But this is what I'm getting off of this card. I'm feeling that it's troubling. It could be a death. Somebody could have died and you get the phone call, right? And you're crying and you don't feel good. But if you stay high vibe with the birds up here, see, that's what I'm saying is that you have to stay high vibe. So again, but it's a golden ticket. So maybe that person that died left you his house and now you don't have to be homeless no more. Okay? Examples. Okay? So it's very emotional. It makes you very emotional. But the warning is to stay high vibed. Okay? Because it is a challenge and you have to keep. This says confidence and good vibes next. So everything I just said. Now we move on because see, that backs up everything I said. And instead of going deeper with all of these cards, like if I was just going to stay with this one pile, we would go deeper. And if I did that, the gossip card comes up, and that just says that people are going to be talking about it. Okay? And it says, but you're healed enough, or you're healing or you will be healing from this episode, and that's great. And what is it great? It's great news, okay? And there's the feather. I just put on my feather necklace. So see, I was supposed to go a little deeper. It's very good luck for leaf clover. You are going to be celebrating after you get over the tears, the maybe the shock of it. Now it could be good tears. When my daughter called me after not hearing from her for 17 years approximately, I had good tears. Okay, but if I got a phone call that says something happened and she was deceased, it would be sad tears. But again, I would have to stay high vibed and move through it. And here to find out, she left me this jewelry box or something, and so I have to um, retrieve it. And then there's a lot of gossip in the background, but I've got to stay confident and know that it's going to bring us one day closer to that celebration. Okay, so that's how I do my cards. I do the top part unless I'm using just one deck, and then maybe pick one or two cards depending on the spirit, and we get the gist of it. When it starts repeating itself, then we stop. Okay, I don't like to beat it. Once again, if it was a death, okay, then see how this card, a number 10 and a wheel within a wheel, which just the cycles of life. So people die, people are born. Okay, so that's just backing that up. The only thing that can screw this up is your thinking and how you handle it. Remember, the healing card came out. So, with the healing card coming out, it says that you can mess this all up by taking it totally to the wrong side. And remember when I said we didn't have a devil for a long time? Well, we got him. Okay, and he's underneath the wheel card. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I just got done saying that you were the only one that can mess this up. Another example, you find out she's dead and you get all into the devil spirit because you think she was murdered, or you think somebody had foul play. You get in the devil mode because you take it way too far to the low vibe and sadness part. This energy is just a warning. I don't believe you're going to do that. I think you're going to stay emotionally high vibed. I think that you conquer the devil, but we haven't seen the devil for a long, long time. And he's coming up with the end of a cycle. So, how are you going to deal with an end of a cycle? Now, my analogy was just an analogy because it could be anything, but it's emotional and they want you to keep high vibed. And that's very hard to do when it happens to you. Okay, we're going to go on to, we have a new journey again, and the Three of Swords. So it's telling you to take that leap of faith, and it's telling you that the Three of Swords is what you want to stay away from. The sadness, the anxiety, the grief. Exactly what we just said the devil's going to try to do. He likes to use your emotions to get you. Yes, he does. Six of Cups is nostalgia. So, once again, and the Five of Cups, disappointment over the past. And when this comes in, this might be like, oh my God, I just got back with her and now there's a death. Or, oh my God, and thinking about all the past memories, all the fun you had, all the things you did do, you didn't do. You know exactly what I mean, because we're always telling people to stay out of the Six of Swords nostalgia. You either use it as a good lesson or you move forward. Otherwise, you're going to have disappointment. So you notice you got disappointment, Three of Swords, which I just showed you in reverse. So that means you're not going to get stuck in this. No, it's not. So the King of Hearts, the King of Cups, back from the beginning when we talked about the Knight of Cups. Okay, you're going to take it the love way. Yeah, you're fine. You're going to go forward fearlessly, St. Michael says, and it's a favorable outcome. It was just a warning, okay? It was just a warning to keep on your toes. Okay, then the last two things I have is it could have something to do with work too, because I did get the toxic workspace card at the end, and underneath that was you're not worthy. At work, somebody's telling you you're not worthy, you don't fit the position, and you're supposed to say, yes, I am worthy statements, and quit that job and move to a different job. That's what they're saying, because your workspace is toxic. Now, that again is an example. It doesn't have to be work. It can be a relationship. It can be a house. It can be a car. It can be anything that's toxic, okay? Whatever is toxic, they want you to know that you deserve better than that. So once again, what is it? What do you deserve better in? Whatever situation that is. And then we have the communication with God in reverse. So maybe work is preventing you from being close to God because it's taking too much of your time. Maybe the person you're with is an unbeliever and you're a believer. What is keeping you from God? So the last three cards again. Say I am worthy. And what is causing you to not feel worthy? Is it a meeting you're going to, a job, a person? What is toxic in your life? It's got to go. It's got to go. Yes. You know why I say it so sternly? Because it is messing with your communication with God. That was upside down and it should be upright. Your communication with God should be number one. Number one. I don't want to hear it. I heard somebody yesterday say they don't pray to God at all while they're working because work takes all their time or something. And I'm like, red flag totally. I think that was Nate, if he's listening. Nathan, because God's got to be number one. God's got to be your number one thing in everything. God's got to be with you at work, at play, when you're sleeping. Something's taking over your communication with God, got to go. Why? Because that devil, he doesn't rest. He rested for a long time. He hasn't shown his face in these readings for 2-3 weeks, right? I don't know exactly how long. And it's right under the cycles of life card, number 10. So something's going to happen. It's going to happen quickly. It's going to challenge you emotionally. But if you can stay high vibed, keep your communication with God, you've got this licked, I have no doubt. But some of you, 1 out of 10 of you that are watching, it's not gonna work in your favor because you are going to go the other way. But there's a favorable outcome, St. Michael says, if you remember, go forward fearlessly. If you go forward fearlessly, there is a favorable outcome. And then I just want to pick one more thing here to read. This Five of Wands card came out again, and we've had Five of Wands all week, and they wanted me to read this. Okay, it says, I support others and they support me, and we rise together in accelerated harmony. So any kind of conflicts or competition that you're having, again, you've got to stay high vibed with love. And if it's too much conflict and too much competition, bye bye. That's what you say. Okay? Now I want to read this here. It says, a little rivalry can be a good thing, and it can push us to become the very best version of ourselves. And they had me read this to you a few videos back. So just remember that anything that comes in, it's for a lesson. We learn the lesson and move forward. We stay high vibed and stay in love. And don't let the devil win, because he just showed up, right? And you saw where he showed up. Now I'm repeating myself. Yeah, he showed up underneath the 10 card. The cycles are ending. So when one cycle ends, we go to another cycle. Don't look back on the past. Don't let the past hold you back, because it can be hard, especially if it's a death call. It can be very hard. We did not get the death card, but we got the wheel of cycles. Okay? And that is an end of a cycle. Okay? Now, just for the fun of it, it's a wheel within a wheel. Okay? And just for the fun of it, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead for the fun of it. If I can get this open here. And, where is it? Here it is. Let's just see what wheel of fortune here, the wheel within a wheel says. Because this is the biblical tarot deck. Okay, and we also had the devil. So let's see what they say. I'm just going to move you over here so I can see a little better. Okay, it says the devil card, temptation, materialism, bondage, addiction. See, you could fall back into an addiction because of that phone call. Shadow self and hidden forces, control, power, dynamics, fear and ignorance. Did Satan tempting humans to sin? So just everything I said. Okay, and then wheel within a wheel is cycles of life, number 10. I've said that several times. Cycles and continual change. Interconnectedness of events, about how the past all interconnects. Don't let it drag you back. Majesty and mystery. Hope and guidance. Divine providence and fate. Divine providence and fate. So it's supposed to be whatever it is, it is. Whatever's going to happen, stay loyal, brave, and true. Stay high vibed. I am Miss Mystic, and I want to thank you for listening.